Right guys, another day and we are back for some more transfer rumours. We've got loads to go through in today's video. As always, if you do want to enjoy, make sure to drop a like, and any news that we miss off today, make sure to get it in the comments down below. But without any further ado, let's jump into the news. So starting out with some managerial talk, we have had confirmation of Ruben Sellers going in at Sheffield United and replacing Chris Wilder. We spoke about this in length in last time's video, but has since been confirmed. Yeah, Blades fans, I'd be interested to get your perspective on this one in the comments down below. Wilder is a tough act to follow, and last season accumulating 92 points as well. But with all that being said, I do think there is a good manager in there with Ruben Sellers, and the options he'll have at his disposal next season at Sheffield United, I'd still expect them to be there or thereabouts in the promotion picture. And we've also had confirmation of Gerhard Struber going in at Bristol City to replace Liam Manning. He's been handed a 3-year contract at Ashton Gate. Once again, I quite like Struber. Last time we had him in the Championship, it's a completely different sort of project that he's walking into this time compared to last time when he was working at Barnsley. But once again, do think there is a good coach in there. I'm interested to see how he gets on. And it has been rumoured for quite some time, but QPR have agreed a deal to appoint Julian Stefan as their new manager, coming in to replace Martí Cifuentes. It's been quite a long-winded process for QPR looking for their next manager, but Stefan has been linked for quite a few weeks now, and it looks like that deal is all but over the line as of recording. And before we jump into any transfer news, we need to discuss the situation going on at Sheffield Wednesday right now, because this will have a huge influence on what they're able to do in the transfer market for the foreseeable future. So after delayed payments to staff and players, they have now been placed under a 3-window embargo, meaning that they won't be able to pay any transfer fees for players until January 2027. So banned from signing players for a fee in this window, in January, and next summer as well. Now, if things are resolved at Sheffield Wednesday, those restrictions could be lifted, things could be tinkered with here and there, but as things currently stand, they've been slapped with a 3-window embargo, which is absolutely brutal. Even worse than that is the fact that players haven't been fully paid yet. If they're not paid on their next payday, then they'll be able to walk away from their current contracts. So even the players that Sheffield Wednesday have under contract right now could leave for free if this situation isn't resolved in the next few weeks. It's a really grim situation. I really feel for those fans at the moment, obviously. Still plenty of speculation regarding Danny Roll as well, his future at the club. It's all an absolute mess. And the players that are out of contract at Wednesday this summer that have been offered new deals, we've still not heard anything from them either. So it does feel like that club is at a little bit of a tipping point right now, and as things stand, I mean, it just screams of a relegation season, doesn't it? But now jumping into some done deals, we've seen Semi Ajayi signing for Hull City on a free transfer after his deal at West Brom had expired. Hull had been interested in the defender for quite some time. Reading had also offered him a contract as well, but snubbed their advances to sign for Hull City. I think that's a decent pickup on a free transfer. We've also had confirmation of Watford defender Francisco Serralta joining Auxerre in France, with Watford set to receive around about £2 million for the defender. Last season he was sort of in and out of that starting 11, but a decent fee there, I think, for the 28-year-old. Norwich have announced a deal for another goalkeeper. Louis Molden will be joining them from Crystal Palace upon his contract at Selhurst Park expiring. He's 23 years old, and you'd imagine will be coming in as another backup option there. Australian forward Adrian Sedgwick has joined Portsmouth for an undisclosed fee. They love an Australian down at Pompey, don't they? But he's coming off the back of a good season with Sydney FC, where he scored 13 league goals in the A-League. Only 21 years old as well, so definitely a player that they can look to develop. We've seen Millwall defender Murray Wallace dropping down to League One upon his contract expiring at the Den. He's going to head and join Huddersfield on a free transfer. Huddersfield really going for it in League One this season, aren't they? I think that's a nice addition for them. Some big news at QPR is that Jimmy Dunn has indeed signed a contract extension. Now, for the last few weeks, it almost seemed inevitable that the defender would be leaving. There was heavy interest from Sheffield United. I'd be interested to know if the Sheffield United interest maybe cooled when Wilder knew that he wasn't going to be sticking around, because it felt like quite a Chris Wilder signing, that one, didn't it? But yeah, coming off the back of a really good season with QPR, the fact that he has penned that new deal and he won't be leaving them on a free transfer, I think is a big boost for them going into next season. We've also had confirmation of Preston youngster Theo Malweni joining Brentford. He'll be initially joining up with their B team as he continues continues his development, with Preston supposedly receiving a significant fee, whatever that means. Listen, us North End fans only really saw glimpses of Malwenny in the first team, but from watching some of his clips in youth football, you can definitely see that there is a really talented player there and why a club like Brentford would be interested. So yeah, hope he goes on and smashes it there. Shame we didn't get to see a bit more of him in the first team, but there's definitely a talent there for sure. But those are some of the done deals which we've gone through in the Championship recently. Now let's jump into some transfer rumours. Go Ahead Eagles wide man Oliver Antman has been eyed up by a few Championship clubs right now, with both Birmingham and Blackburn supposedly interested in the 23-year-old. Now he's coming off the back of an excellent season in the Eredivisie where he got 6 goals and 15 assists, so really good creative outlet. You can see why there would be a bit of interest. Going back to March, there was a story about Brentford being interested as well, so a few Championship sides could face some competition from around Europe and in the Premier League to get this deal done. He's still under contract until 2027 with the option of an extra year as well, so you'd imagine would cost a bit to get out of there. Spoke about Sonjay Hansen in one of last time's video, but he's another option still being looked at by Birmingham, but another one that certainly would not come cheap. He's currently playing his football in the Eredivisie, and the value of the player is around about 4.2 million according to reports, so Blues would have to cough up a fair bit to get him to St Andrews. Both Birmingham and Middlesbrough are interested in Wickham forward Richard Kone, who's obviously coming off the back of an unbelievable season in League One where he scored 18 league goals, got 3 assists as well, only 21 years old. Now Wickham rejected some big offers from Luton in the January transfer window. Obviously Luton probably won't be going back in for him after their relegation, but Kone's got a lot of potential suitors on the table right now, along with some interest from Championship clubs. You've also got West Ham who are still interested as well. To get that deal over the line, you're looking at 10+ million. And Kaigo Furuhashi is another player who Birmingham have expressed an interest in. The former Celtic star left Scotland in January to sign for Rennes in France. Since that point, he's not really featured that prominently for the French outfit. In the second half of the season, while playing in Ligue 1, he only made 1 league start and 5 substitute appearances, so could be leaving the club just a few months after joining them. Birmingham are interested. I'd be interested to know what the finances look like for this sort of deal, because he left Celtic in January for a fee of around about £10 million, and you can't imagine that the French outfit would be willing to take a, sizable loss on him or anything like that. He is 30 years old, but certainly shown from his time at Celtic over these last few years is a prolific goal scorer. In 165 appearances for Celtic, scored 85 goals. Would be a very exciting addition, but we'll wait and see if Blues go in with an official offer or anything like that. And with it looking more than likely that it will be Rob Edwards going in at Middlesbrough, it's no surprise to see they're now being linked with a move for Luton's Alfie Doherty. Definitely a player who is, too good for League One. I think regardless will probably be leaving Luton this summer. I've always been a big fan of Doherty's, especially in a wing-back role, and if that's the sort of system that Edwards is planning on implementing at Middlesbrough next season, you could see why Borough would be all over that sort of deal. He only got 4 assists last season, but at his best, more than capable of getting into double figures for assists next season. Still just 25 years old as well, so at a good age, can get up and down that wide flank. I think he'd be a really good option. Brighton defender Odeluga Afai still being linked around the Championship. We've previously spoken about the likes of Charlton and QPR who have been interested. Now Preston are the latest club to reportedly register an interest as well. He's coming off the back of a really good loan spell with Blackpool in League One last season, capable of playing as either a centre-half or a right-back. With a move to the Championship looking more than likely this summer, you could see why there would be a bit of interest there. I think he'd be a really good option for any of those clubs who have been linked. And it's safe to say that Leyton Orient's Ethan Galbraith is one of the most in-demand players in this transfer window. Both Swansea and Charlton have already had bids rejected for the Leyton Orient star, and now Huddersfield have had a bid rejected as well, with Huddersfield's bid being worth in the region of 1.5 million. So Leyton Orient really holding out for a sizable fee here, and you absolutely can't blame them. With the amount of interest in the player right now, we've already had 3 or 4 bids going in for him. They'll obviously be keen to drive that price up as high as possible. What I would say about Huddersfield especially is they're really going for it in League One this season, aren't they? After what was an underperformance last season, missing out on the top 6, they're not going to want a repeat of that this time around, and it seems like they're going to be pushing maybe with another bid for Galbraith as well. So if either Swansea or Charlton do want to get that deal done, they're going to have to put another bid in themselves. The long-term future of Blackburn winger Tyree Stolen is still up in the air. He's out of contract this summer. Blackburn are obviously keen to keep him at Ewood Park, but he's not penned a new deal with them, and there has been plenty of interest from elsewhere. We've had Middlesbrough linked earlier in the window, a few other Championship sides as well. The latest Championship club to speak to Dolan and his representatives has been Norwich City, with Liam Manning supposedly a big fan of the tricky winger. The fact that we've got to this stage now, I'd be amazed if Dolan was playing for Blackburn next season, but hey, crazier things have happened. But yeah, Norwich definitely one of the most interested parties right now. And speaking of Norwich, they're also close to completing a deal for Ajax defender Jakov Medic. Norwich really going for it in this transfer window. Obviously, they've already got that deal over the line for Harry Darling. Someone like Medic could complement him quite nicely. They were badly in need of strengthening that defence, given how many goals they shipped last season. And yeah, this could be a nice addition. He's 26 years old. He spent last season out on loan in the Bundesliga for Bochum. Supposedly, that deal is worth around 1.8 million plus add-ons, according to local press. Some good news for Blackburn, though, is that they are closing in on a deal for Portuguese midfielder Sidney Tavares, with a deal set to be concluded worth anywhere from sort of 1.7 to 2 million pounds. He's a 23-year-old midfielder who stands at 6'2", came through the academy at Leicester City, but never really got much first-team action there. Only made 2 Premier League appearances for the Foxes in 2020/21. After that, he made the move to Porto, where he played for their B team. He's since moved on again, but looks like he'll be leaving Portugal this summer to return to England. Chelsea defender Alfie Gilchrist will leave on a permanent basis this summer, according to Fabrizio Romano, and understandably so. There's plenty of interest from Championship clubs. Now, according to reports, several options are being considered for the defender right now, but among the clubs interested are Middlesbrough. Southampton forward Paul Anuachu won't be sticking around for the Championship next season. The Saints are currently in talks with Trabzonspor over a potential deal there. There's still a few details to be worked out in that overall package, but it's thought that personal terms between the player and club are close to being agreed. Kamadil Sulemana looks another player who's more than likely to depart Southampton this summer as well. You've currently got Atalanta from Italy who are chasing his signature. Supposedly, the Italian club have gone in with an initial offer of around about 10 million euros, so the equivalent of around about 8.5 million. The interesting QPR midfielder Jonathan Varane is not going away after a good first season in English football. There are plenty of suitors for the midfielder. Now, QPR have already rebuffed an offer from Espanyol, and since that point there have been 2 more offers made by Rapid Vienna and FC Basel, so QPR are obviously doing everything they can to keep hold of him. It's thought that those 2 new fresh offers will also be rejected. Now, QPR signed Varane only last summer for a fee of just under 900k. They would have the opportunity this summer definitely to flip him for a quick profit, but seems more than likely that they want to keep him around, and you could understand why after the season he's just had. West Brom are interested in doing a deal for Bournemouth winger David Brooks. There's thought to be quite a bit of interest in the Bournemouth star from a few Championship sides, but West Brom's interest is the most prominent as of recording. Now, the Baggies will be keen to cover themselves with another option on that right-hand side, especially if Tom Fellows is sold this summer. Obviously, we've spoken about Fellows a few times on the channel recently and all the Premier League interest that's currently in him. Brooks, I think, will be a good option for the Baggies, though. Was sort of sparingly used at Bournemouth last season. 9 starts in the Prem, 20 appearances off the bench. He's still only 27 years old, so is at a good age. For a creative option in the Championship, predominantly playing on that right hand side, I think he'd be a really good option. But there you have it, guys. That will now wrap it up for today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you did go on to enjoy, make sure to drop a like, and anything else that we missed in today's video, make sure to get it in the comments down below. Now, I must say I am off on holiday tomorrow, so there won't be any transfer rumour videos in the first half of next week, but we'll do a big catch up when I am back, either on the Friday or Saturday next week. And there's still plenty of content going out on the channel over these next few days as well, so do stay tuned for that. Apart from that though, guys, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one.